Hi, I'm Francis Buckley, and welcome back to another episode of Studio Rescue. Today, we're going to go meet Michael Moreno. Now, Michael has got his studio set up in the master bedroom, so it's a little bigger than some of the other ones that we've dealt with. Got a couple of other different issues, high ceilings, different sort of odd spaces in the room, but hey, we're up for the challenge, so let's go rescue Michael's studio. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Francis.
All right, man.
Good. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
You too.
Got your message. Hear you're having some problems in your room. So tell me, what's going on?
I just can't get the bottom end that I want out of it.
All right.
And whenever I take it out of my studio and take it anywhere else, it's big. It's too much.
Too much bottom end.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the top? Do you have any problems with that as well?
It's coming across pretty clear, but
Right.
the room's somewhat balanced. But
Okay. Well, take a quick look around and see what you got here. You got a big room. Okay, we've done a few of these that are in pretty small rooms, and there's always something in a room that you can't get past because these rooms are not designed for audio. Okay. This is a bedroom, but it's a big room. You got high ceilings, so that's probably why your top end is coming through clear. But I think the reason why you're having bottom end problems is because you're in the corner, and you're hearing a lot of bottom end buildup just being in the corner. Right? So we'll just kind of take a quick look around. I mean, my first impression would be is that, first of all, you're in the corner, so you're not getting even dispersed. You get your speakers right up against the wall. My thought would be to get this either on this wall balanced out or over here on this wall where your television is. So if we turn your bed this way, we could put your television on this wall, and put this over here, get it more balanced in the room so it's in the center of the room, and you've got the same amount of area from wall to speaker, from speaker to wall, speaker to wall. So in this situation, I think that's probably the most ideal setup, would be to do it that way.
Sounds pretty good.
So we got a bit of work to do, but it's nothing insurmountable, so let's get to it, and let's rescue Michael's studio. Let's do it! Studio rescue in high def and high speed. Wow. All right. Well, what do you think?
it's great, man.
Yeah, man. Feels
It's
better.
awesome.
It's like you got more room around you.
A whole lot more space going on.
Yep. And we got the speakers in a better place. You had them down here, which was, completely out of your range. Now slide up into your normal position where you'd be working.
So be right here.
And I mean, the speakers could be a little bit higher, but we kind of have to do what we do. We can't rip these things out of here.
Yeah.
So we would, like I said, there'll be some things that we can't get past that we're just going to have to work with. Okay. So one of the main things that we want to do is we want to check our positioning. Okay. We're talking about 32 inches, right? Right to here. Okay. So sitting here is your sweet spot, and that's kind of working because that's where you are. That's where you are, is in your sweet spot. Okay. All right, because you got to remember, speaker placement is the most important. Everything else in your studio has to revolve around your speakers. Okay, so we got our speakers in there. We did have a little bit of limitation in the fact of this is what we've got.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing we want to do with these speakers is they're sitting on this wood, which means when they're vibrating, this whole thing can become part of your sounding board. So what we're going to do from our buddies at Vicoustics, we're going to put these speaker feet underneath them. Okay,
Sweet.
and these are going to provide us with some isolation. Okay? So we're going to take, two of them now. So we have our speakers pretty much in place. Okay? Now the last thing we have to do is we have to talk about the acoustics in here.
Okay.
There's not a lot of bounce in here. There's just a little bit. Okay, I hear a little bit of something coming off of here, right? But your speakers face away from that. What we really need to concentrate on is the side walls, okay, and our corners for our bass traps, okay. But let's start with the side walls. And the way we find what we're looking for is what's called the angle of first reflection. And the angle of first reflection is the first place that the speakers hit the wall. And the way we find that is we get ourselves a little handheld mirror like this, right? And I'm going to put the mirror on the wall and I'm going to move it. And when you see the cone of that speaker in this one, you tell me to stop.
Right there.
Okay? All right, so here's our angle. Now, tell me, are you still seeing it?
Nope. It's down there.
So it's here.
A little bit back. There you go.
Like right by the light switch. Of course it is. Can
Right.
you move this
a
light switch?
A little bit below it, actually. But
Well, but this, I mean, it's coming and hitting in here. Okay, so this is, we're going to have to fudge it just a little bit because that's where the light switch is. Okay, so what we'll do is we will put our Vicoustic panels up here. All right, and there's your panels. All right, so there's your first bass trap. Okay, I'm only going to put one up here because we don't have enough room for two of them because your bed is here. Also, you got your little surround speaker in place there. But this is going to do the job. It's just 4 strips of Velcro and pop, up it goes. All right, Michael. Well, I think we're pretty much set up. So have a seat. What do you think?
looks great, man.
Feeling better?
Yeah.
Ready to make some good music?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll do this. Why don't you go and fire everything up? Make sure everything's working. Get the speakers turned on. Get some audio coming out of here. And I'll be right back.
All right, man.
Yeah. All right, man.
Wow,
This
man.
is for you to say thanks for letting us come and rescue your studio.
Wow. That's
This
awesome.
is the Rode NT2A large cap condenser microphone. This is one of my favorite mics. You know,
Wow.
there isn't anything I've ever used it on that it hasn't sounded great. Drums, guitars, pianos, voices, horns, strings. It's one of the best all-around microphones out there. Okay? And comes with a couple of extra things. Of course, the microphone itself has got the 3 polar patterns, the 2 roll-offs, and the 2 pads, right? And it comes with this really nifty shock mount. It's a full-on shock mount. And it's got this really cool built-in windscreen that just pops right into place. You know how hard it is to get a windscreen exactly where you want it to go.
That's right.
So there it is, all nicely built in, okay? And it's got one more thing. It has a flexi screen light.
Flexi screen light.
Yes. Have you ever heard of a flexi screen light? This is the flexi screen light. And you put the screen up, and it's your own private little vocal booth. So now, with your NT2A, your Vicoustics panels, the flexi screen light, the bass traps, the room set up properly, you are ready to get back to work.
Thank you, Francis.
Well, you're more than welcome. And Michael's studio has been rescued. Yes, indeed, another cool studio rescue. And as you can see, it took us a little bit to finally get all that stuff settled in place. We got his studio pulled out of the corner, put over in the wall so he's got a little bit more room around him. We got his bed moved over, got the television put in another place, got all the panels up on the walls, the bass traps. The room was sounding really, really good. And again, I want to thank Vicoustics for the panels, the bass traps, the flexi screen light, and those very cool speaker feet, which we've been using underneath the speakers to isolate the speakers from the cabinet that they're sitting in. And again, Rode microphone, thanks for the NT2A. We had a lot of fun doing Michael's room, and I know that what he's going to be bringing out of that room is going to sound a whole lot better than it did before. Hey, I'm Francis Buckley. Thanks for joining us on Studio Rescue. Whew. Oh, and by the way, if your studio's in need of a rescue, just log on to rodemic.com/studio rescue and we'll see what we can do for you.